So, the film starts by showing a certain Foundation. The Foundation has sent its spaceship to retrieve 4 parasites. But they receive news that the spaceship has crashed while returning from space. It's unknown whether the parasites that were on that spaceship survived or not. They immediately send the police to the crash site, who begin investigating the area. When the police arrive, we see that one of the 4 parasites hides inside a person's body. That parasite makes that person's body its host and takes control of them. The paramedics were taking an injured man to a hospital, but there was a woman who was behaving strangely because the parasite was inside her. That woman breaks out of the ambulance and runs towards the country where the Foundation that sent the spaceship is located. But then the scene cuts. Then we are introduced to a man named Eddie, who is a successful news reporter. His company is pleased with him. He also has a fiancée who works for that very Foundation that sent the spaceship. We see Eddie go to his office in the morning. His boss tells him he's doing a good job and that he must perform well on the task he's giving him today to interview the CEO, the owner of the Foundation. He instructs Eddie to ask him why he sent his spaceship to space and what the situation is with these parasites. The boss warns him not to talk about anything else because the CEO is a rich and dangerous man. If Eddie doesn't stick to his favorite topics, he could even have him killed. Eddie assures his boss not to worry and that he will only ask about his inventions and discoveries. That night, Eddie is at home with his fiancée's laptop. He receives an email on the laptop from a member of the Foundation. The email warns that the Foundation is not good, it's taking people's lives, it will use him too, and that he should leave it. The mail contained details of their experiments, who these parasites are, where they came from, what kind of experiments will be done on them, and that they will use innocent people for this. When Eddie learns this, he thinks he has a great opportunity since he has an interview with the man in the morning, so he will ask him all these things, even though his boss forbade it, as it would be a piece of rocking news. We see that the CEO is a bad man whom everyone fears, he is the movie's villain. It's time for Eddie's interview. He meets the CEO and the interview begins. Initially, Eddie asks him what he discovered in space, and the owner is happy answering these questions. But then Eddie starts changing his questions. He says he's heard that the CEO will now use humans for his experiments, playing with their lives, and asks if that's how he plans to make his experiments successful. The owner does not like Eddie's questions and tells him to immediately end the interview and leave. Eddie is thrown out. Eddie then goes to his boss's office. His boss scolds him, saying he stuck his nose into this matter despite being forbidden, and now he must face the consequences. In anger, the boss fires him. On the other side, Eddie's fiancée is also fired from her job. She is furious with Eddie, says she is breaking up with him, calls him unwise, and blames him for them both losing their jobs. She severs all ties with him and leaves. The scene changes. At night, in the rain, we see the woman who had the parasite in her body. She starts eating things, but then some bad people from the Foundation come for her. They were conducting experiments to see which form makes the parasite more powerful. They place a rabbit in a glass box and release the yellow parasite there to see what it will do. The Foundation owner is also there, watching the experiment with his worker. At first, they observe a good bond forming between the rabbit and the parasite. They become more powerful after merging. But after some time, the rabbit dies, and the experiment fails. Eddie learns from the news that the Foundation owner is planning to send another spaceship into space. But he knows that if he does this, many people will lose their lives like before. On his way, he meets a woman selling newspapers and buys one from her. He goes to a store where a robber starts robbing it, but Eddie quietly buys his things, pays the bill, and leaves. Meanwhile, at the Foundation's lab, the owner and his worker with glasses are now conducting the experiment on a human instead of an animal. But that parasite also fails to bond with the human body and kills the person. Seeing this, the girl with the glasses feels bad. She immediately goes to Eddie and tells him what is happening in their Foundation, asking for his help. Eddie says he has left that profession and won't fight with anyone anymore. The worker pleads with him to understand that the owner is a bad man who will take everyone's life. She reveals that the owner doesn't actually want to live on this world because he believes it will end soon. He is conducting experiments in space so he can live there, which is why he brought the 4 parasites, creatures from space that are powerful. When the 4 parasites were brought here, one ran away. Now the owner is experimenting on the remaining 3, killing innocent people. She begs Eddie to do something and use his connections with news reporters to publish this story so the owner can be caught, as she can't bear to see people dying. Eddie agrees, saying he understands and will do something soon. Eddie secretly goes inside the lab and sees them experimenting on humans. He starts taking pictures as evidence. He discovers that the woman from whom he bought the newspaper is also there. Feeling bad, Eddie starts breaking the glass door to save the woman's life. The girl comes out, but she was connected to the parasite. The parasite leaves her body and enters Eddie's body. Now the parasite is affecting Eddie. All the guards chase Eddie, who starts running away impossibly fast, indicating the parasite has affected him. He runs into a forest, jumps high, climbs a tree, and saves himself from the guards. When he returns home, he drinks a lot of water and starts eating everything in his house, but his hunger isn't satisfied. He starts vomiting, feels unwell, and his body begins to change, including his face, which worries him. In a panic, he calls his fiancée, but she says she has severed all links with him and is now with someone else. Despite Eddie's insistence on meeting, she refuses. He goes to the restaurant to meet her anyway. He starts eating everything in the restaurant but says he gets no energy from it, calling it dead meat and demanding something alive to eat. He then sees an aquarium and starts eating live crabs from it. In fact, Venom is now in Eddie's body, the strongest of the 4 parasites, which is why it successfully made a human its host. But Eddie's fiancée and her friend don't understand this, so they take him to the hospital for a scan and send him home, saying they will inform him when the reports come. Back at the Foundation, the owner finds out that the worker with glasses contacted Eddie and gave him access to the place. The owner becomes aggressive with the girl and throws a parasite onto her. We then see Eddie at his house, now feeling aggressive. His neighbor is playing loud music. Eddie asks him to stop, but the neighbor ignores him. This angers the parasite, Venom, inside Eddie. Meanwhile, guards sent by the Foundation owner arrive. Here, Venom becomes clearly visible on Eddie's body and starts fighting the guards, protecting Eddie. Now much more powerful, Eddie fights them off and escapes on his bike. The owner watches his incredible speed and abilities and tells his people that the parasite he discovered is now thriving. He sends more guards after him. While escaping, Eddie jumps with his bike but falls, breaking his bones. However, Venom's body emerges from Eddie's, forming a black covering that saves him. Then, Venom starts eating the guards. He escapes to a place via the water. Eddie then asks Venom why it came into his body. Surprisingly, they can talk to each other. Venom explains that its home is space, it was brought here, and it found Eddie's body to be a good host. It requests Eddie to send it back home to space. Eddie has all the evidence he photographed at the Foundation, showing how they are oppressing humans. He goes to his former company to report this, but his former colleague doesn't let him in. Venom then tells Eddie, "I am here, I will take you up." They go up, break a window, and enter his boss's office, where Eddie leaves a note with the evidence. But then the Foundation's guards arrive and attack, shooting at him. Venom emerges again and protects Eddie, defeating all the guards and nearly eating one. But then Eddie's fiancée arrives, the one who broke up with him. Eddie returns to his human form and asks what she is doing there. She says he's supposed to be under medication and asks what he's doing there, insisting he come with her immediately before anything happens. They go to the hospital, and her friend scans him again. This time, they succeed in removing Venom from Eddie's body. Eddie feels light and happy and tells Venom he never wanted it in his body anyway. But then the Foundation's people kidnap Eddie again. He is presented before the owner. We learn that the Foundation owner also has a parasite in his body, transferred to him by a girl. He demands that Eddie give him the parasite from his body. Eddie says it left his body a while ago and isn't with him. The owner warns him not to make him angry, as he can also transform into a parasite, and he changes into a monster-type parasite, which is another main parasite in the movie. Eddie tells him not to scare him with this, that he's proud of it now but will get tired of it as it will control him. The owner says it doesn't matter. When Eddie doesn't cooperate, the owner orders his guards to throw him out and kill him. But then Venom returns, this time entering the body of Eddie's ex-fiancée, and saves Eddie from the guards. Venom then re-enters Eddie's body. Here, Eddie and his ex-fiancée become friends again. Venom tells Eddie that the owner has completed all his experiments and now wants to go to space because his plan is to bring more parasites from there. Venom warns that if all the parasites come here, they will destroy humanity and eat people. The owner then announces the launch of another spaceship at his Foundation. All the workers try to reason with him, saying it's dangerous to go now because all the parasites are against him and people don't support him. Hearing this, he kills all the workers and launches the spaceship himself. Meanwhile, Venom arrives, and a big fight ensues because Venom doesn't want the owner to occupy its world and bring its fellow parasites here. The owner becomes very strong, seemingly kills Venom and Eddie, and gets inside the spaceship. But Venom cannot die so easily. It re-enters Eddie's body and jumps towards the spaceship. Using the very weapon the owner attacked Eddie with, Venom damages the spaceship, causing its fuel to leak out. The spaceship then explodes, killing the owner. Venom also appears to have sacrificed its life to save Eddie, who falls into the water. The next day, Eddie and his ex-fiancée are talking, but then she hears Venom's voice from within Eddie. She tells Eddie that Venom is still alive. Eddie denies it, saying it was someone else's voice. Here we learn that Venom is indeed still alive. Eddie stands up and secretly talks to Venom. He tells Venom that it can live in his world, but it mustn't let anyone know and must follow some rules. It cannot eat humans. It can eat bad humans, but not every day. He makes Venom promise. Venom asks Eddie who the bad people are. Eddie says they are people who hurt others and do bad things. They then go into a store and see a man robbing it. Seeing this, Venom activates and eats the robber, as Eddie said he could only eat bad people. After this, everything becomes normal. Eddie is back at his old job as a news reporter, and he is now interviewing a famous serial killer. With this, the movie ends. Thanks for watching.